Bluffton, Ohio. I've lived there my whole life. Some of my hobbies are fishing. I like to play basketball and farm. So I like farming, which is kind of what this is for. But I'll get into that a little bit later. I have 4 brothers. My brother Corey went here. And he did the same program. That's kind of one of the reasons why I chose this program. My future, something manufacturing engineering or electrical engineering or mechanical. I'm kind of tossing all those up. But I want to stay in the Lima area. I'm planning on going to Rhodes State College. And I want to do something in robotics or CNC or electrical. Once again, I'm kind of tossing those up. Likes and dislikes. Some of the things that I like is creating something from nothing. You can take, for example, this. This was all just metal, and I put it all together and made something that I can be proud of. Manual lathes and mills, I like running those a little more than CNC because you don't go into the dislikes. I don't like memorizing the codes and stuff like that. I do like Mastercam Inventor. It makes things a whole lot easier than having to write all the programs. Some other dislikes, I don't like sitting on the computer for like extended periods of time and drawing up all this stuff. And writing process sheets. I don't like writing those up either. Those are no fun. Yeah. Product explanation. How does it work? Well, there's a motor down here, and that will just spin this belt right here, and this pulley right here does nothing. It just sits there, and it rotates around, and then you can push metal up against here, and it'll grind it off. How does it compare to other belt sanders? Well, as you can tell, it's a lot bigger than most other belt sanders. It's got a 132-inch belt on it. It's got a 1 horsepower motor, which is a little bigger than most of the littler ones. Mostly for metal, because I'm running 40 grit sandpaper on it. So, why did I make it? Well, actually my dad got a whole bunch of these belts at an auction for real cheap, and there's actually some smaller ones that I have too. And so he wanted me to make it to fit these belts. But even if we do run out of these, then I can move this all the way down and I can put smaller belts on. Okay. Drawing. First, I had to draw this up on Inventor. Basically, I drew every single part on Inventor. I'll show you a picture of that a little bit later. I had to use reverse engineering to draw it all up. Like, I already had this part and the table and stuff. I drew all that up by measuring with tape measure and calipers and stuff. So I drew up all the parts that I already had. Design. I had to design the actual belt sander. I had to, kind of think in my head how all this was going to go together, and draw all that up. Then I had to draw up the parts that I knew that I needed to make. That way I could know my dimensions and stuff for machining stuff out. Figuring out what was possible. First off, it seemed a little bit impossible to me, but then I could kind of grasp what was possible, and I drew that up. Materials. I had to figure out what materials I needed to get, if I needed anything special. These wheels, actually, I needed to get those special. Any other materials that I have to order, I have here in time. What machines did I use to make? I'd use the mills, so I'd make sure I'd be able to use the mills and the lathes to make the parts. And the steps that I wanted to use to finish the project, what needed to be done first, and all that. Using parts I already had, like I said, I already had like those parts in this table, so I went off of that. Making the mounting bracket, there's a picture of me machining out the center for this block to fit in there nicely and tight. I had to sand down all the table was really rusty, it was really old. I had to sand down all that stuff, and I'd cut the table out because it was cut out for a circular saw, so I had to cut it out bigger. The wheels, I had to machine down the idler pulley and the motor pulley. I had to machine it down, and then the bearings are right here. I had to machine it down to the proper dimensions and then press them in with the arbor press. And I had to broach the keyway and the motorway, that way it would slide on there. The keyway would keep it secure on there. The bracket, I had to machine down the spindle for the bearings to go into, and then I had to thread in these blocks and stuff into the bracket. I have a set screw over here to keep the spindle in, and then I have this as kind of tilted up and down for adjustment. Some of the problems I had, picturing how everything would turn out, that was really hard for me to do. But eventually I got a grasp of it. Cutting out the hole right here, I took it over to welding, and I tried cutting out with a torch, and this is cast, so for some reason it was cracking and it wasn't cutting very good. So I actually just took a die grinder and just grinded it out with a cutoff wheel at home. And making the wheels, that was kind of hard. First off to find them, and then I had to put like a crown on it. That way the belt would track right. Some of the skills, right there is a picture of the assembly that I drew up on Inventor. I'd have, I think you gotta zoom out a little bit. I have designing capabilities on Inventor to be able to draw up all these parts. Welding the arm bracket, I welded this on myself and I did the welds on these. So I had to have those skills. Milling experience, I had to be able to run the mill, to use the right bits and speeds and stuff to be able to properly do it. I'd have a lathe experience too, to lay that spindle right there, and I also wired it up, so I'd have some knowledge of how to wire up that switch and stuff. The cost. The table, I put $50, I got it for free. I just figured out an auction or something, we might be able to get a table like that. The motor was $125, but you can see that my cost was only $50 because most of the stuff my dad had. I had the motor laying around. The boilerplate, I got that from welding for free. I used the boilerplate for this plate and the motor bracket down there. Also, the belts, those were all free, but they're about 15 bucks if you go on the internet and try to buy them. The pulleys actually were what saved me a lot of money. I got those for free, and those are probably 100 bucks a piece. And miscellaneous, those would be like bolts and washers and stuff, and I had those laying around. So, once again, my total cost was $50, so it was a pretty cheap project. The hours I had in it, tear down, that was kind of taking off the old circular saw and all that stuff, and there was other electrical stuff on there that was kind of crappy. I had to take all that stuff off. Designing, I might have had a little more than 2 hours into it, but it was about 2 hours. Drawing and assembling the belt sander up on Inventor, that was probably 5 hours. The big part was 16 hours of making parts, like cutting this, machining out that, and the spindle, and those things. I had a total of about 31 hours. Things I would have done differently. My hinge down here was actually a door hinge, so it's not the sturdiest. I was actually loading it up on the truck and it started to bend down that way, so I would have used a different hinge for that. More heavy duty. And I probably would have went with 3 wheels, because I think maybe it might have kept it tighter and a lot less loose, but I think it's alright just the way it is. But that might have been something I would have done differently. And I would have squared everything more precisely. I made like slots in this and slots in the motor to be able to move it and stuff, but I think I could have done it with less slots and stuff like that. Yeah. Some advice to the juniors: I would start early on this project. Some people are waiting until the last minute to get it done. Pick something that you're capable of doing. So maybe even a little more than what you're capable of doing, then you can ask questions, ask the teacher, and then you'll learn more stuff that way. And there's a picture of me kind of drawing or measuring it up to figure out how exactly I was going to do it. The motor wasn't hinged yet, so I was trying to figure out how it was going to work. Yeah. Well, in conclusion, I'm very happy I did this project, and I would have done it over again if I could have. I'm actually fired up and kind of if you cut model and stuff, like your birds and stuff on some of any questions?
How long did it take you to get it to track through?
It took quite a while. I was just like moving this and the motor, I was adjusting all that stuff, and then finally I decided to crown the pulley, and that just right away it worked. So.
Has Dad seen it and is he happy?
Yeah, he's seen it, and yeah, he's happy. I was planning on getting it powder coated, but I haven't done that yet. So.
job.
Do you like process